Howdy! Welcome. It is time. This is and should be listed as Session 1. We are beginning our Ironsworn adventure. What does that mean? Why is it different than what we had done previously? Well, there's going to be some game involved, and by some game I mean probably a good portion of game. Ironsworn itself is going to basically start holding my hand through some literary journeys here, which should be fun. There's going to be a lot of writing still. There's still going to be a lot of similar discussion as to what we, in a similar fashion to what we were doing before. When I think just last episode when we were making decisions for the gods, there's going to be a lot of that too. But there's gonna be some games spliced in there. Probably a good portion because I do wanna play. I do wanna get in there. But there's also gonna be a lot of writing, a lot of me sitting here typing away and coming up with cool ideas. And that is what I'm looking forward to. This is going to be my first sit down session. Get a couple episodes out of this, and it should be enjoyable. So where to begin here? I got my draw.io up. I found a dark mode for that so it's not blinding me in the eyes, because when I have two to three white screens right on my face, it's hard to see. But I've been thinking, man, when I go to sleep, I know this is I'm a fucking nerd, but the last couple nights I've gone to pass out, I've been like brainstorming and daydreaming about stuff in this world and things I want to do in the world and how I want it to develop and all that stuff and the character that I want to play and like what I want them to do. So this will be interesting. I really haven't stepped in to play Ironsworn, like actual Ironsworn, in a long time. Got done reading those books a few weeks back. So I actually don't have those PDFs open right now, but I'm going to trust in the character sheet. I'm also still playing Kachow, the Banner Saga, original soundtrack, 29 tracks. This puppy's an hour and 11 minutes, and then it'll probably just move into some other music, hopefully not the Skyrim exploration. I'd rather go into Banner Saga 2, but highly suggest Banner Saga for music for this campaign. It's what I would listen to, but there is no audio music track on this thing, so you can put whatever you want up. As I've said before, you can do the chicken dance if that's if that's your jam. Not the theme I'm going for, but Bear Saga's a little bit closer. Let me turn it down a little bit because it's gonna distract me. I need it to just be lovely background music. Same composer who made Journey, the music for Journey, I believe. So beautiful, wonderful music. All right, cool. So, Alan Richter. So, I actually did. I did an art. I did an art fart. I didn't do an art, like personally. No, well, I'll take that back. I drew nothing. I went into Hero Forge because Hero Forge is cool, and I actually made a little character for my bland boy. For my very, very, very bland boy, Alan Richter. Can I move up? Yeah, here he is. He's got a sword on his back, and this would be his miniature if I played him, and I do want to play him in like other games, but he's got this leather jacket situation going on, like leather trench coat jacket and normal like armor under it. I don't even think it's a trench coat. I think it's more just I don't even think one would be like existent in this world. But it's just a long jacket effectively, to protect from the wilderness, to stay warm. And he's got a big old sword on his back, big old long sword that he wields. Though I didn't take a picture of the long sword because it's not how I want it to look. But similar to what I think in my head he looks like. He's very, very much my bland boy. He's a normie, but I love him. All right. So let's get into the character. Let's bust him open and actually get to look at his character sheet, because that's going to represent who he is, I think, more than any photography or picture illustration that I can come up with. So just dipping into his summary overall, just looking at his stats, we have one edge. So he's not very fast. He's not very quick to the draw. 3 heart. This was important for me. Alan Richter in my head is I guess if I was picking a background for Alan Richter in like Dungeons and Dragons, it would be the folk hero. And I don't think that he is particularly famous or anything, but I think he is a people person. I think Alan Richter cares about the community that he's from. He cares about the people within it. He cares about protecting them. He steps up to a leader position when he has to in certain situations, but he doesn't want to. He's much better to, to say the best leaders are the ones who don't want to lead. I think Alan Richter falls into that category. He's an interesting dude. Let's keep going down his stats a little bit. Well, man, actually, I should just give an overall of who I think my character is. Alan Richter is a wayfinder. He is a traveler of the roads. He is a sword for hire, but more so in protecting other people, and more so that even though he's for hire, he does a lot just out of the goodness of his heart, kind of thing. A lot of just wanting to protect and wanting to survive. And if there is money to be made, excellent. And I think that is a drawback at the same time that it's an honorable thing about him. I think he is my biggest thing is Alan Richter is a family man. He has a family. In my head, he has a wife and a daughter, and they survive by him. But this is his kind of I actually don't really know what they do yet, and I'd love to detail more of like what his wife and daughter does. And I'm imagining his daughter to be, his wife is probably around his age, maybe a little older, and his daughter I think is coming into her youth, kind of like I would say 13, 14, maybe I would say actually 14, is coming to become a part of the community, kind of thing. Older, so it's not like child and baby kind of thing. It's his wife and daughter who are able to take care of themselves, and he is basically going out hoping to, like he's trained with a sword. I don't know why he is. I haven't really come up with a lot of background as to why Alan Richter is skilled in the way that he is, and maybe we'll discover that through play. Perhaps he was a member of the Lord's Crusade and he got out of that. Like who knows where Alan Richter's training came from, but that's what he's good at. He's good at a sword. He knows how to use iron to suppress magic, though he is not a master of suppression. He was never arcane inclined at a young age, but I think he has been trained to use the blade to deal with that. Like maybe he had a master or something that showed him how, and this is just the profession that he picked up and has just had his whole life. So Alan Richter goes to the road. He does a lot of traveling. He doesn't get to spend as much time with his family as I think he would like, but he is very concerned with the protection of his community and the lasting efforts of civilization in the Enclosure, and he is just sort of a part of that whole community of wanting to protect that level of civilization, wanting to keep the status quo going so that his family can have a future and that he can have a future. And yeah, he, as I said before, he's a wayfinder. He travels the roads to protect people. He's a protector of caravans. He deals with any kind of demon terrors. He's been known to, I think he's got some buddies. I never even thought about that. I think he has some other buddies who work the same kind of, like he's made some work friends. And when a terror happens, he's got to go and find them or something. And because I mean, dealing with one on your own is pretty dangerous. And head to Citadel Vice and get some iron doors and go take care of the problem. I think he's done that too. But I think as far as like how many wayfinders are in the area that he's in, I think Alan Richter is one of very few, which is why he has work. He is able to people know him where he's from, at least. And Alan Richter is from it's Richter. really what it is. I need to change it, but he's actually from Citadel Richter. Richter. It's Richter, right? How do I pronounce? It's a German name. I just can't. I'm just bad at. Give me this. Yeah, it's Richter. So, yeah, it's Alan Richter. And a lot of people take the last name of the lord that they are born under. And Alan is born under the Lord of Judgment, the Elder Lord Richter. And he's from that citadel, from the very cold, from the south. And is born and raised in the citadels, I think. Not really sure about his history going further back than that, but I have effectively made a very concerned hero character, a good default to kind of jump off of. I don't think Alan Richter is in any way like terribly super special, but he is he is just a protector. He is a very generous hero type. So that is who we're going to start off playing, and we'll see what kind of depth that he gets here, like how he grows. I'm interested in it, and the thing I want to kind of break the mold is I feel like the hero types tend to be loners, and I don't want Alan Richter to be a full-on loner. I think he is when he's on the job, but like I want him to have this family that exists, that lives and survives on their own, that he can return to, that he can care about. So we actually might have to write some bonds, because I didn't start thinking about him having a family until just recently. I wanted to break the mold with the like, my family is dead. They've been my Batman. They were killed in a back alley. So I want him to be a little more chill in that area. And maybe, that'll add some more risk to him, honestly. So he's got 3 heart. He's very much a community man, very much a carer of the people. He's got 2 iron to represent his skill with the blade, whether he was trained by a master. I think he might have been. I think he might have just like fallen into being a wayfinder when being a wayfinder was, I don't know if it's fallen out of popularity. I don't think it has. It definitely hasn't, but like maybe back when there were a lot more. Because I don't want to full follow the Witcher series where it's like there aren't many witches left because there aren't many evils. There's totally evils. I think I don't think it's like falling out of style. I'll take that back. I think that he just learned. We don't have to get into the details of that. I think he just picked up this profession because somebody saw potential in him. And they took him under their wing and trained him how to use iron. So cool. You have 2 iron, 1 shadow. I don't think Alan Richter is so low shadow, low edge is the thing. Is I don't think Alan Richter is he is not like the quick and agile, the crafty, the shifty. He's not very good at any of that. I think he is very honorable, very, very skilled. Like if he saw somebody that he was going to have to fight, he would face them down versus try and get around them unless the situation is extremely dire, at which point he would try to use some of the shadow, because we could still roll high on this. I'm just trying to like use these stats to represent a little bit of his personality, but he is not he knows his weaknesses, I think, pretty well. He's not quick. He's not sneaky. Wits 2 makes sense to me. I think I want him to be intelligent. I want him to be fairly good at detective work, fairly good at like figuring things out. I feel like you have to be a wayfinder, especially if there's any kind of issue you're brought to your table kind of thing, and wanting to know like, sometimes people don't know what happened. You have to have some knowledge of the land, knowledge of the demons that you're dealing with, or knowledge of the danger in general that you're dealing with, and be able to assess it. And I think wits makes sense. So his main stats, we got heart, iron, wits, shadow, and edge have kind of been thrown to the wayside. And I feel like that just made the most sense for him. So let's move over to his assets before we go into vows. I'm just sort of going over mechanics. He has the Swordmaster talent, and I believe the Swordmaster talent will begin with when you strike, and this is what was checkmarked initially, so I think it's what you start with. When you strike or clash and burn momentum to improve your result, inflict 2 harm. If the fight continues, add +1 on your next move. So yeah, something to give him a good combat talent. And we also have Slayer. When you gather information by tracking a beast or horror, or when you secure an advantage by readying yourself for a fight against them, add +1 and +1 momentum on a hit. These two make perfect sense for me for a Wayfinder who wields a sword, who is especially Slayer, just for any Wayfinder. Just in general, dealing with those problems. These two are great for combat, great for this is mostly the sword, this is mostly the Wayfinder background, and like hunting people, or not people, the beasts and horrors. And then we have Story Weaver. So yeah, Alan Richter, I think he's a bit of a poet at the same time, a bit of a writer. And I think I like, because there's a lot of journal writing in a solo game, I like to kind of imagine one way or another how my character is writing things down, how they are taking into a history. So like I had a few characters that were a little more blunt, a little less. I think I can't imagine them with a little book, writing. They were a little bigger, a little angrier. I imagine most of their journals kind of being a narration in their head for the story than them actually writing. For Alan, I actually would love for him to really have a book, really have something that he is writing down in at the end of the day. And even though I'm going to be doing things and writing about them in my journal in the moment, I want to imagine any writing would have entered his journal at a camp at the end of the day. He would be writing. So Story Weaver is, I can secure an advantage, compel, or forge a bond by sharing an inspiring or enlightening song, poem, or tale. Envision the story that you tell, then add +1 and +1 momentum on a hit. So because he has that 3 in heart, I knew that I needed an asset that didn't just represent combat. I needed a heart asset, effectively. And I feel like I can use Story Weaver in a million different ways. I can use Story Weaver. It doesn't just have to be him like, gather around, here's a tale, let me tell you of the tales. It would be it could be used a million different ways. Like, he's gonna go out, he's gonna see things, he's gonna meet dangers, and he can use a lot of his experience as a way to tell that story to others, to inspire or enlighten them, or something. So it has to do with just when you share a story, an inspiring or enlightening song, poem, or tale, envision the story you tell. So I don't know if I can use this as like I might be able to twist it around. It might not have to be inspiring or enlightening. I mean, enlightening could go good or bad, and inspiring could also go good or bad. I feel like we could twist it either way, because it doesn't have to be a good story. It could be a bad story to inspire somebody to leave, or defend themselves, or act with me or something, or enlighten them of an incoming danger. I feel like Storyweaver is going to be a really great overall asset for RP and like communication and diplomacy and stuff. Makes sense to me. And then we took the Fortune Hunter. So you normally only start with 3 assets in a game, but I am doing the variant rule where everybody gets a Fortune Hunter card, basically. And I think that's just going to be this world, because I feel like currency is a big thing, especially if you're in the... I would say don't take a Fortune Hunter. I won't have people take Fortune Hunter if they want to start in the wilds, if they don't want to be a part of the Citadel communities, or they're trying to avoid those communities. One second. Oh, God. I gotta blow my nose. 1 second. You're gonna see a break screen. I don't want to. What's that? Here. Oh, God. Okay. Good. Just had to clear my nasal passages there. Apologies. So the Fortune Hunter is it's I want there to be, if you're going to be a part of the Citadels and a part of the communities of the Citadels, currency is going to be a important element, and I feel like everybody would have it, and you need it to some degree to be able to use it. And I just like the idea of a currency being a a part of the narrative in Citadel life. If you were to start a character out in the wilds with deserters, or just in a firstborn community or something like that. I don't think you would start with the Fortune Hunter. You'd maybe gain that asset later on through experience in the Citadels. So yeah, those are my assets. I feel like they fit the character fairly well in this situation, and I believe they were all I had to choose the first one. I don't think I had to. I can always change that, but I kind of want to follow what the cards say. If they start with a filled-in dot, then I'll take it. And I'm pretty happy with the filled-in dots that I got, honestly. They're good. I'm excited to build on them, really. So Alan Richter's going in, because those are those. I haven't gone into bonds. We're going to go into that in just a second. So let's go into his vows. So starting with his incentive vow, his, I forget what it's called. I named the II. Shit, what's it called? It's the one that's immediate. What is happening right now? So actually, I will start with the background vow. The background vow, I wanted to make a background vow that was achievable within under like a dozen episodes, or around a dozen sessions with Alan Richter. It might go beyond that, because for me a session's 3 hours, so it might be more like 24 or 30 sessions, but I basically don't want to make it so that Alan is taking like forever to end. I had that problem with the previous Ironsworn campaigns that I absolutely loved, but I couldn't find like an end of the road. And I kind of want to make it fairly simple with the background vow. And I'm gonna try something a little different, depending on what we get to, and I want to see if maybe I can work it in normal. I was thinking of making my background vow formidable for a shorter story, but I don't know. I think we'll try it with Alan Richter and see if it feels too quick, if it feels too fast. Because I know it's like, make it extreme or epic or it'll be over really soon. Even when I made it extreme, half check boxes like didn't like happen really for me. But honestly, instead of formidable, I am just going to keep it extreme, and we'll just roll it when we feel we've come to an end. And maybe that won't be very far in. But I feel like my chances of success will be much lower, because I doubt I'll be able to get it up. We'll see what it looks like in extreme. If it feels like it's moving too slow, it's fine. So his background vow is, I have to prove that the barrier will fail. I have seen the South. Well, let me get his voice, because I'm gonna try. We'll try to do voice. It's not even gonna be much different than my own, but I have an idea of this character. I have to prove that the barrier will fail. I have seen the southeastern road for myself. It is weakening. And that's his background vow. And it is like the to more detail, he is from the Citadel of Judgment, Citadel Richter, and something that I had in my head is something that is happening that I think Alan knows about, but he needs to effectively prove to others that this is the case. He takes the roads. He is a wayfinder. He is used to the roads. He's used to traveling the roads, and because he's from Richter and that's where his family is, he tends to stick to the roads between Richter and Weissen and Richter and Leistung. And the road between Richter and Leistung, from Alan's experience, Alan has seen something he isn't supposed to have seen. Something that a lot of people won't believe. A lot of people would tell him he's crazy, and he knows that. And he has to find another way to prove it. But he has seen a demon cross the road. He has seen a demon break through the barrier that has been told to him since his youth is unpassable by demonkind, that the only demons that ever make their way into the land come from those who are practicing the arcane and opening tears. And that has always been his knowledge. And of late, Alan has seen something that has terrified him. He has seen a demon cross the road. It was probably a very epic event for him, and not in a good way, but it probably was like burning and struggling its way across the road, and it probably even died when it got to the other side, but it crossed the road. which immediately tells him that the barrier isn't holding anymore and that it is going to start to fail. And I wanted this to represent on this road in specific because this land I've picked here is number 9 in the Ironsworn game guide. In the world, it is the Shattered Wastes, which are a vast field of broken ice, discomforting stillness, deep crevices plunging into darkness, piercing cold, unnatural horrors breaking through the ice. So I am theming in some ways the Shattered Wastes as what the actual wasteland looks like as well, but not cold, more ash. And I think this land itself was usually just cold, probably more like the Veiled Mountains at one point. This is what this area was more like the Veiled Mountains. It's sort of sister continent area. But I made it a 9 because in my head I think this is a problem that could be scaling larger than Alan Richter would want. His greatest nightmares could be true, where it could be a fact that demons could be making their way through into this area, into this land, which I think they would just continue to call the Veiled Mountains. So even though we've labeled it Shattered Wastes, they would call it still the mountainous area. This would still be mountains, but I think they're leaking in, and it's becoming a problem. So Alan Richter has some terrible knowledge, terrible thing that he has seen, and his background vow is to prove to people that this is happening, but he needs to find a way to do it without them not believing him. So like the question is, well, can he just take him to the road to prove it? But like there's a lot of factors that need to happen. A demon needs to be in the right place at the right time. People need to want to brave the road. And that's something I want to emphasize in this world. And I don't know if I should add it to my truths or not. I think it's small enough that we can remember. People don't travel the roads often, and when they do, they get a wayfinder. The most often to travel the roads are these supply caravans, and they don't come in between. Like each citadel makes its own supplies, but they don't send them, like, it's not like, the caravan for the day. It would be like the caravan for the month or the last couple months. Like, it's a very rare that they send a caravan, because it's a 3-day journey. Probably more like 2, 3 if it's running long, to even make it that far. So they're rare. But he's not going to be able to convince people to come out to the road to see this. He needs more proof. He needs more evidence that people are going to listen to. And that's where his inciting vow comes in. There is a caravan missing through Lystung, bound for Weissen. It is carrying a scroll of truth that holds info that I need. I'm searching. So his inciting vow that I've decided for him, which I put at a troublesome area, but I think it can grow for sure. It has the potential to grow worse. Something I learned in previous Ironsworn is it's great to start your adventure at troublesome, or start your quest at troublesome, and see what happens. See if it gets worse, because sometimes you'll only make enough story points, and you'll get to that third story point and something bad will happen, and you'll be like, well, fuck, I'm not at a finishing area. Should I just increase the danger and add some more depth to this adventure, add a couple more things? I think that's a great way to start. So we're starting it as troublesome. So we talked about Scroll of Truths before. They are the Elder Scrolls, effectively, of the land, and they're very rare. But Weissen, Alan Richter has heard of a Scroll of Truth that has recently been discovered, and I think he's praying that it has some kind of information on it that will effectively depict what's happening to help him. I'm imagining these Scrolls of Truth almost like you're receiving a fucking newsletter from the gods. Like, they don't just include, like, some of them might just include 1 or 2 things, but some of them include a host of truths revealed to people through Weissen. And I feel like there's probably a question of like which ones are real. Are they really from Vysen? Are they fabricated? Are they true? And that's why they're sent to, when one is found or discovered, it is sent to Citadel Vysen to have its authenticity proved. And it would probably have to go through a series of tests to decide whether or not this is truly a scroll of truth, and it belonging to the hand of Lady Vysen herself, and to be read too, because I don't think it can be read by mortal eyes. Very similar to an Elder Scroll. I think it's a bit of a complex situation, but his inciting vow is that the caravan for that truth scroll has gone missing on its road, on its way to, it said through Lystung, bound for Vysen, and it got lost on the road. And that road itself could be bound from Allure. Bound for Vysen, and it could have come from Allure, the sister city, and it was making its way through Lystung, and Richter. Yeah, it's making its way through, and I have to find it, in the hopes that it will maybe heed some information that I can add to. Like if it says something of, oh, there is a brittle break somewhere or something. If it says anything leading to the situation that I have found, I can back it up. I can say, no, that's true. That is happening. And that would be a moment Alan Richter, I think, would want to speak out to a community and hopefully get them on his side of what's happening. A scroll of truth would give his sighting some valid whatever that word is. It would make it more valid. And he knows the people he's around. He knows what they'll believe. He knows what they won't believe. And something like what he saw, no one's going to want to believe happened. He needs more information. So we're going to start there, but let's go into bonds here. So I'm supposed to have 3 bonds, and I think one of them is for sure Citadel Richter. Or is it Richter? God, I keep wanting to call it Richter, and I feel like I'm about to just call it Richter and not try so hard. I'm gonna call it Richter and mess it up, and anybody who speaks German can make fun of me for giving that a terrible American accent. I just like the name Richter, and it shouldn't be that because it's a CH. It should be Richter. We're gonna try to stick with Richter and be true to the names, since I'm trying to do that with the rest. So yeah, Birthplace, Citadel Richter, descriptors of Citadel Richter. So this is the first time I'm actually getting to fucking do this. And again, this is the game. We have started. I'm not like in scene yet, but I need to get some stuff ironed out to begin. This is a session 1 though. We are officially out of the explaining all the lore phase. We need to go into the here and now. We must describe Richter. We must describe, I think my other bond is going to be my family, my birthplace, my family, and we'll maybe have to describe some of them a little bit. So Citadel Richter, I really haven't thought about anything about this citadel at all, and like what it's about, what it looks like, and what its details are. But like, let's see if we can maybe get an oracle inspiration here to see if I can think of something about this location that would give me some inspiration here. So just of what the citadel is like itself. So let's do location. Let's roll and see what we get. Forest wouldn't make any sense. Maybe these aren't right. Descriptors might be right. Yeah, location descriptor oracle. This is more what I want. Yeah. I don't need an actual location. I know the location. It's in the wastes, well, not the wastes. It is in the mountains. So let's get some descriptors. Dark. Oh, that makes sense. Rough, and then one more. Settled. I mean, that all makes sense there. Can we do an action theme maybe for some inspiration here to see, or should I do a delve aspect focus? Let's give it a shot. Pillaged. Crossing. Oh shit! I kind of like the. Oh fuck. Okay. The pillaged. I think we can twist around a little bit. I think we can definitely do something with this. Okay. It's a crossing though. I didn't even think about that. That's fucking interesting. Okay. So we need to go into the world, into the, it's technically in the Shattered Wastes, though they don't know it yet. Go into the settlements and Citadel Richter. And I think its details, oh, this fucking makes sense. Descriptors are going to be dark, rough, settled. Yeah. Main resource example. So, yeah, this is interesting. Citadel Richter. The Citadel. I can't. I'm doing it from his perspective. I don't know if I should do that. I think this should be from a narrative Citadel, or from a narrative Citadel, a narrative point. Citadel Richter is unique in that it is less a fortified castle and more a great bridge spanning mountains. Spanning two towering mountains. Oh, it's so cool! Oh, I love that idea of just this huge fucking arched bridge spanning this mountain, and built into the bridge is the Citadel itself. Oh my god, that's so cool. More a bridge spanning two towering mountains. The mountains themselves block the sun at all points of the day, say for when it is at its highest. I'll have to go back around. Like, this is not worded like the best, but I'm spitting rhymes. I'm spitting words and descriptors. And the mountains themselves block the suns at all times. At all times of the day, save for noon, comma, when it's at its highest. So it's mostly, I think, a very dark area. And this makes sense because I also want to describe, Citadel Richter. I'll just call it Richter. Richter is a place of judgment. And so it holds the only prison known to the Enclosure. I don't even know what they would call it. I don't think we have a name for it yet. It's just a prison. Maybe, I don't know, can we create a name? Can we namesake? I don't know. Those are all just like a bunch of cool names. Detail. Description. Yeah, this is a site name. These are pretty creepy. Elder. Oh, it makes sense because he's the Elder Prison. That's interesting. Like the Elder Wand from fucking Harry Potter. Richter is a place of judgment. It also holds the only prison known to the Enclosure. The Elder. I don't know. Description. Elder something. Elder Nightfall? Old Night. Interesting. Richter is a place of judgment, so it holds the only prison known to the Enclosure. The Old Nightfall. The Old Nightfall. We'll call it the Old Nightfall for now, and see if we can maybe make a cooler reason for that name in the future. I'm only thinking like, I kind of just want to call it like I mean, it is Elder. The Evernight. The Evernight. Just like always dark. I know that's like a little cheesy, a little corny, but I'm into it. The Evernight. We can make it work. You can make any corny word turn into something cooler through practice, through use. All right. It's unique in that it is a less a fortified castle, more a great bridge spanning towering mountains. Its length holds the home of thousands. Built into and atop the bridge. Yeah. It's built into and atop the bridge. It is a pillar of civilization. And then the sort of pillaged part. There was a time when this land held a clan of giants. There was a time when the mountains held a clan of active giants. They did not take well to the establishment of the citadels during the times of old. There was a war lost to time, but the damage can still be seen in its eastern foundations. Oh god. I'm just envisioning Citadel Richter falling. Like some crazy terrible thing happens and that damage remains, and the foundations of Citadel Richter fail, and the fucking bridge slams into the mountains and is destroyed, and thousands of people die. Holy shit. I don't that hasn't happened. But I'm just like, fuck, dude. This is like for some foreshadowing. There was a war lost to time, but the damage can still be seen in its eastern foundations. It is some of the only known damage to the many citadels. Yeah, because I think we established before that they are like impenetrable, impregnable, and it is a this is probably pretty legendary. The amount of stone being used is so vast. I don't think they have the tools to fix it. Yeah, it is some of the only known damage to the many citadels, and has gone unfixed, basically. I'm just going to say unfixed. I can't think of a better word. It has gone unfixed since the peoples of the Enclosure do not possess the technology to repair such a vast structure properly. The Evernight. I'm just gonna put a dash in there so it doesn't give me the stuff. All right, cool. I think it's probably like that's like a point of interest to go see what damage even looks like to these walls, like what the inside of the stone looks like. And I think it's like white. It's like a bright light, like you can see it almost like a scar, and the contrast of the very dark stone of the citadels, the damage would be seen almost as like a very, very bright stone that you would see on like the beach kind of thing, on the inside, almost like a silver inside of it, or a metal. Interesting. Okay, cool. So we've detailed Citadel Richter a little bit. and that is one of our bonds. My birthplace. So we know its descriptors. So dark. It's dark, rough. It's definitely rough, settled. Because of the extreme cold weather, ice clings to many portions of the bridge, making bridge traversing its rough terrain is dangerous. I love how this game can like take something and make it more interesting. Like, I had no idea what the hell this thing was, and now it has so many cool like thoughts behind it. So you'll see me, so this is sort of the process. You will see me like click on these things and like go through, and I might click a few until I'm inspired, and there might be some I just toss away and some I keep. I'm very much not the type to just like roll and like gotta take the roll whether you like it or not. I will not accept true random. I will accept getting things thrown at me and then try to find something that fits in my head that inspires me to that works. I will not just go with like something I wouldn't be just like, oh well, I guess I rolled forest here at the top, so I guess Richter's gotta be a forest now. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna immediately identify things I roll that don't feel right and use things that do feel right. So my birthplace, Citadel Richter. So this would be from Alan's perspective. I was born and raised here. This is my home. The people of Richter are considered cold? Question mark. Are considered to be cold, I guess. I'm sure that's a stereotype that comes from where it's located. But by that account, the scribes of Wyson should also be cold. Yes? Question mark. He's a bit of a goof. Not a complete goof. I think he's fairly serious, but like when it comes to serious things. But I think he's a dad. He's a bit of a dad, and I'm kind of like seeing him as that. He is sword dad. So yeah, I was born and raised. This is my home. I was born and raised here. This is my home. The people of Richter are considered cold, I guess. I'm sure that's a stereotype that comes from where it's located, but by that account, the scribes of Wyson should also be cold, yes? I would consider them more calculated. But I digress. These are my people, and I consider them as warm and welcoming as any. Stubborn, sure, but I think there just might be something up in the air. Something in the air this far up in the mountains. Something that gives you purpose when you look down at the world below. I remember when I was a child, and I would run the expanse of the Great Bridge. I thought the world began and ended with those mountains. It wasn't until I was older that I looked beyond to see the expanse in its whole. The lessons I learned from this place taught me that no one person, place, or not person, place, or thing, that no one person is above the law. I'm a little sporadic. I'm just sort of thinking off the top of my head. The lessons I learned from this place taught me that no one person is above the law. That order and that order is the key to peace. I never knew war in Citadel Richter. We're too far up in the mountains. To deal with the violence down below. I think that's about. We'll write more. We'll write more. I just wanted to get into a little bit of the details of him and his birthplace and his bond with it. I love my people. They care about peace, about living life without the need for suffering. They care about consequence. I don't know how to spell consequence. They care about consequence, about action and reaction, and the fate that we all hold, the fate that we all have. They are a learned people. Careful to study and careful to study and understand. I don't know, study and understand. This is getting closer to Bison. They are a learned people. Careful not to judge until all is known. Okay, cool. My family. Alright, let's get some names for these people. Let's get some names for my wife and my daughter. Ironlander names. My wife, Saskia. I actually really like that. Bonds. So we'll be able to mark 2 bonds because my birthplace is my family. Location is also Citadel. Richter. We might not get to any direct like in a scene. We're in a scene. This is technically a scene. We're describing Alan Richter's past. Their descriptors, I'll get to them shortly. Saskia, my wife, and let's see who else. Names. Sarda. Saskia and Sarda. Oh man, I actually really like these. I like that they're both S's. That's kind of cool. Bonds. And my daughter, Sarda. Maybe some details about like what they do. What they are and what they do. I know that I said I wasn't gonna like crazy use too much of these, but like they're so helpful when I can't like get an idea. So if I have something in mind, I will immediately just use that instead. But yeah, I want to get character roles. So yeah, what's my wife doing in the community? Trader. Oh, okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. I like it. My wife is a merchant by trade. Ooh, coal. So coal is the main resource of Citadel Richter. So, I think, yeah, she works for Coal Baron and sells his wares to, to prospecting travelers. Prospecting, yeah. Travel caravans. Making their way in and out of the Citadel. She does a lot of work with carrier hawks in traveling information. Very cool. So yeah, she's a trader. I think she's a merchant. So she probably brings home the bacon a bit there. But I imagine it's probably rare to, like, it's with them only happening like a couple months at a time. It's rarer for her to get like jobs and stuff. So like being paid is less. It's not super lucrative. It doesn't come in all the time. It's when there are traveling caravans and that want to take coal. She makes trading and dealing in that. So a descriptor for her. Successful. Fuck, never mind. She's bringing home the bacon. I actually really like that. That's good. Let's do one more. A little bit careless. Interesting. And generous. Careless because of generous. She's trying to help people. Coal keeps people warm. I see. So I don't know if I need to make my wife and my daughter both a different bond. We'll just do my wife. Yeah, we'll do my wife and my daughter. I didn't even get her name, did I? Oh wait, no, yeah, I did. I got her name. I was trying to combine them. Saskia, my wife, is a merchant by trade. She works for Coal Baron, sells his wares to prospecting travel caravans, making their way in and out of the Citadel when they every couple months. She does a lot of work with carrier hawks and traveling information in finding new clients. She is successful, careless, and generous. Thank the six for her. Or else I'm not sure I'd live as well as I do in the Citadel. Her success has been key to feeding this family. And I think the careless generous gets into here a little bit. Though there's a reason I married her. She cares more of the people of this land than she does of herself. I'm the same. Where she helps people through low prices on coal at the risk of her own employment, I risk my life out in the wild to make sure people stay safe. It's the best we can both do for ourselves, our conscience, and our home. All right, so that is my wife, and now let's detail my daughter, and then we'll have three. We'll have the official amount, and my character will officially be finished. We might need to just label this session 1 character creation finish is what it's going to be. So we have that. Let's do I'm not going to do her goal so much because I feel like well, let's do her goal. Let's see what her goal would be. Protect a secret. God, what would that be? I can't think of it, but I'm gonna write it down and see if we can come up with something later. Goal: protect a secret? Question mark, and figure it out later. let the story tell me about that. And then let's do oracles for my daughter, whose name is, we did get the name. It is Sarda. Sarda. So this is wife, and this is daughter. Okay, cool. All right, location is still going to be Citadel, Richter. Descriptors. Might as well give myself a few more bonds, you know. Give myself some help here. Let's get some descriptors on my daughter. I want them to be characters that are prominent. Skilled. Very good. Friendly and double skilled. Really fucking good at whatever she does. What is she good at? I have to give her a role. No, she's not an outcast. Doesn't make any sense. Hunter. Okay, she's sort of learning. Oh, I like it. She's learning to be with a bow, and she's really fucking good at it. Oh shit. So, friendly and 2x skilled. My daughter, the pride of my life. She's insanely skilled with a bow. Way better than me. Not sure where the hell she gets that. Maybe her mother? She's training to become a huntress. To take down wild beasts of the land. Her eyes are set on the colleges of Leistung. Oh, at the hunting lodges. Hunting lodges of Leistung. I know she will make a happy home there. And I trust in her skills and tutors that she has now and in the future to guide her into becoming a citizen who feeds the mouths of the hungry. I'm blessed to have a family whose destiny is to aid these lands. Yeah, she's awesome. I love it. All right, cool. Sarda is in. I have my 3 bonds. They are in and done, and that is the 1 hour mark. So we're gonna call this episode here, and the next one I think we're gonna open up with a scene. I don't think I can delay it anymore. This was kind of a delay episode, but we'll call it character creation finish, and still call it session 1. I think that makes sense, and we'll actually get into it for real here in just a bit. I will talk to you soon. See you for the next one. Bye bye.